How's it going, gang? My name's Liam. If you don't know me, I read a lot of books, I work out, I have an online coaching business, and I do YouTube every day. So I'm sitting out here reading, and I had the thought of, while I was reading this book, The Untethered Soul, just reading it back, I thought, wow, dude. I've been reading now every day for about an hour for over a year, which just statistically puts me in the top 1% of readers in America. Nobody reads books anymore. I think it's definitely getting less and less common to read books. And so reading has greatly changed my life. And so I wanted to give 3 ways that reading has changed my life forever. So firstly is I've discovered the fact that reading becomes addicting once you get into it because reading is a meditation. Meditation is any time when you forget the past and the future and you're just in the current moment. So taking a shower sometimes is an accidental meditation. Sometimes going for a walk becomes a meditation. A workout becomes a meditation. And yes, you're not sitting there directly meditating, but it is a meditative activity because you forget everything else. You're just there in that moment. And reading is just another opportunity to unlock that. And so every time I go to the gym in the morning right away, and then I come home, make a coffee, and bam, I've got books sitting there. And it's such an incredible way to kickstart the day because I start off with the workout, bam, my body's primed, my mind is semi-primed, and then I go and crack open a book. It's just the cherry on top where I almost get into a deep meditative state. I get lost in the books. And it's a learning meditation. You're literally expanding your neurological network while learning and adding things that could change your life. So it becomes addicting. Anything becomes addicting because it's meditative. People get addicted to jumping out of planes because in that moment when they're falling out of the sky, they don't think of anything else. Same reason people get addicted to drugs. Anything's addicting because it takes you out of the past and the future and therefore is a meditation. And reading is just another opportunity to do that, and it's one of my favorite forms. If sitting down is too difficult for you, there's other ways to achieve presence and meditation, and reading's just another one of those. That's a whole nother topic, but reading has become one of my favorite ways to disconnect, unwind, and simultaneously prime my brain for the day. So number 1 is just, reading is a learning meditation. Number 2 has been the really obvious change in my vocabulary. I've been reading about an hour every day now, and even after reading, I feel my speech and my articulation change after I read. And just the words that I have available. Sometimes, the other day I was driving down the road, and I didn't even know what the word meant, but I had the urge to say it. I think it was visceral, which saying it now, I'm like, duh, visceral. It's kind of a innate reaction. But in the moment, the word just came out of my brain. And I don't know where I learned it, but when you're reading every day, the way you talk changes. And not that it matters necessarily, speaking clearly and in plain words is a skill in itself, but being able to articulate yourself is genuinely a superpower that comes from reading. The smartest people in general were readers. Charlie Munger, he's Warren Buffett's investment partner. Bro was known to be reading almost 80% of the day, and it's not a coincidence. Do you think reading books is going to make you dumber? No. You don't have to read books all day long. But reading has genuinely changed the way I talk completely. And not only is it the word usage, but some of these quotes that you hear that really stick out and resonate with you get added to this bank of quotes and knowledge, and they become a part of the way you talk. So for instance, yesterday, I was on a coaching call, and I pull out this quote that I read in a book. It was, extraordinary accomplishments come from doing ordinary things for an extraordinary amount of time. And so my family always laughs at me because I always pull out these deep quotes in almost any conversation but they're super applicable. You just gain a bank of quotes for a wide variety of situations that you can pull from. And quotes are interesting because it's a really big lesson packed into a really small amount of words. So it's easy to understand and they hit really hard. So if you have this bank of quotes, you're going to be able to, one, portray your ideas, but influence other people through these quotes. You could say something very simply put in a boring way and it wouldn't stick. But if you say it in a way that sticks to their brain, that's why quotes are powerful, you can change the way people think and influence and persuade people. So reading books has completely changed the way I articulate myself. I have a bank and a lexicon of vocabulary and quotes to pull from that makes me distinguished. And it's easy to notice, especially with people my age. Coupled with the fact that I get on YouTube and talk every day and I subconsciously analyze the way I speak in these videos. And if I notice, I use a certain filler word all the time, I try to correct it instantly. So one of the reasons I started YouTube was to get better at speaking. And that, coupled with reading every day, has been a complete transformation in the way I articulate myself. So I would say the perfect storm is read every day and make a YouTube video every day of you just talking. And then go back, watch your videos, and if you don't like the way you say certain things, correct it in the next one. Correct it in the way you talk that day. It's really simple. It's greatly changed the way I talk. Number 3, probably the most important, is reading every day will give you the craziest ideas to pull from. So you might be sitting there and your intuition's very powerful, don't get me wrong, but when you read, I've gotten so many ideas from the book I read that I close the book, I gotta instantly act on it, and bam, it changes my life. So to tell a story about this, literally this morning, I was reading this book, and I don't know what it said, but for some reason while reading, I got the idea to make this video, and this video is gonna help people. So yes, you can be creative without books, but books are gonna give you, again, another bank of knowledge to pull from and craft ideas. And especially if you can learn from other people's mistakes, you'd be dumb not to read in your field of work or expertise and not learn from other people's mistakes. Why would you not learn from the best? That doesn't mean you need to copy people, but simply reading in your field of work or knowledge is gonna avoid a lot of the unnecessary friction in the journey. So pick up a book and read it every once in a while, because learning from other people's mistakes could give you a bunch of new ideas. Or you could be reading something completely unrelated and be able to connect it to something to build a new idea. And the next thing that is similar to new ideas is inspiration. So number 4 could be a different category, but it's really inspiring to read about something that you need to get better at. It inspires you to act immediately. So I remember very specifically, I was in a sales rut. So I'm a salesperson, and I wasn't making enough phone calls. And I went into the bookstore. I didn't really know what book I was looking for, but I went and grabbed a book it was called Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. And I read the book, crazy. And then after I read the book, I had some of the biggest sales weeks of my entire year, simply because it inspired me to go make the calls. You realize how dumb you are when you read an expert talk about a topic. So it's one of the oldest ways, but if you're bad at something, go get a book about it. There's something special about having the tangible book in front of you, flipping the pages and gaining information from it, as opposed to a YouTube video. It becomes a part of your psyche when you read words on a page. You're using a different part of your brain to calculate the information as opposed to taking in a video. It's more of an active learning process. Whereas when you watch a video, it's not as intimate. So if you can pick up a book, bro, it'll literally inspire you to change something that you might have been struggling with for years and years and years. So after reading about an hour a day for a year straight, 70 books, it's just changed me. and I'm never gonna go back. It's become a part of my routine. It's becoming the same as working out for me. It's just the workout for my brain. So I hope this video was good. I just dropped a free program on my website, so go check it out. It's completely free, no opt-ins, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers.